Hey, what is happening, everybody out there? This is Jakejames Lugo. Welcome to the channel. This is a brand new episode of a definitive discussion, and this one's going to be fun because today, not only are we talking about Kingdom Hearts, the Kingdom Hearts series, we got Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue coming out very, very soon at the time I'm recording this episode, but also I have a special guest. I have Jared, aka Cynical, aka TheGamersJoint on YouTube. What's going on, my dude? We're going to talk KH today.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Cynical. It's good to be here with JJ discussing Kingdom Hearts. And, yeah, it's going to be good. So, let's just jump straight into it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, this is going to be fun, too, because, like, obviously, you know a lot about Kingdom Hearts. You've done a ton of stuff on your YouTube channel related to Kingdom Hearts. You've done Let's Plays. You've done theory videos. You've done instructional videos. Again, you have a huge following now. I think you're at about a little over 100K right now, right, on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so we're slowly creeping up to 200. Just recently hit 170. So
nice, yeah. That's awesome. Congrats. So
yeah, cheers, dude.
Let's get right into the first couple stuff I want to touch on with the Kingdom Hearts series. Now, obviously, Kingdom Hearts has been around for a while. It's been over. They're coming up on the 10-year anniversary, right? Or is it 15-year anniversary? Am I wrong? 15-year anniversary. 15. Jeez, now I'm dating myself. Like, this is bad. Because
no, you got it.
Because I mean, like, I remember when the series was first coming out back on PS2. I remember those commercials they played here in the United States when they had the Utada Hikaru song when they were just showing there. It was like it would hit everybody like a freight train, but. With that being said, Kingdom Hearts has been around for a very long time. What can you say, in your opinion, is like the best aspect about the Kingdom Hearts series? Whether it's the characters, the worlds, the gameplay, anything. It doesn't matter what game it's from. What's the best aspect to you? For me, it's the music. I love Yoko Shimomura's music. I think it's the most phenomenal gaming soundtracks out there. Again,
definitely
rivaling Final Fantasy. But what's your stance on it?
I mean, that's such a hard question because, like, when I think about it, like, Kingdom Hearts is my favorite franchise, and there's just, like, 1,000,001 different aspects that I love about the franchise. If I would have to pick one, though, I mean, I love the music, like you said, the music is incredible. The gameplay is, like, just, I would say, the definitive formula of an action RPG. But I would have to go for story because for me personally, like, it's a fun game to play. But the reason why I'm so invested in Kingdom Hearts is probably the story, just due to like how deep it is. I mean, at first glance, you would think that Kingdom Hearts is some sort of kid-friendly game type of thing with having all the Disney characters and whatnot. But knowing how deep of a story Kingdom Hearts has, I think it's truly something special. I really haven't seen another video game franchise to have the same sort of impact on me in terms of its story. So I'd have to go for story because it is absolutely nuts.
Now, I like the story, too, of Kingdom Hearts as well. Again, throughout all the games. Again, I'm not just talking about any one specific game. Because every one game has its own epic story, quote-unquote, in relation to what's going on in the grander scheme of things. But for me, I always felt that the story gets a little bit convoluted, even from the first Kingdom Hearts. Like, it gets into territory that gets insane, complicated, confusing for a lot of people. Especially once you get to Kingdom Hearts 2, and you get that whole beginning with Roxas and stuff. I mean, we've heard 1,000,001 things about the entire series, but even though I love the story stuff, the reason why I say that the music is so good is because I feel like it sets a phenomenal tone and a good complement to the storytelling of what you experience over the 40+ hours per game that you get to kind of spend time with Sora and the Donald, Goofy, and the rest of the other characters and stuff. Now, fun fact, for anybody that's listening to this that doesn't know, Yoko Shimomura did the music for a variety of other different games, including the original Street Fighter 2, which I thought was
I never knew that.
Which is crazy. She did all those iconic tracks, which, again, blew my mind the first time that I heard about that. But, she's also done other music, too, more recently with Final Fantasy 15 being the big one, and I think that's pretty awesome. But the reason why I love her music so much is because that tone and the type of emotion that you get that sets up the scenes that every time you watch a cutscene or that you're playing through a specific boss fight or a section of the game, it just fits so well. Like, did you ever experience did you ever have moments like that?
Oh, dude, I remember the Battle of 1,000 Heartless and the track. I can't even remember the track name of it. That is bad.
It's like a Italian name or something. It's like Lorenzi something. Like, it starts with an L. It's really complicated, but but it's really good. You know that track though,
dude. It's my all-time favorite track from Kingdom Hearts, and I just remember I was probably only 7 or 8 years old, but just holy shit, dude! that battle with that music, like the like, oh, dude, like my heart just pumping, like adrenaline just going through me. I swear to God, I was probably like standing up and like just doing, what kids do, just like getting into the game, and like it's probably one of my all-time favorite gaming memories. But aside from that, when obviously Sora sacrifices himself towards the end of Kingdom Hearts 1 with the Sora's Sacrifice track playing, I feel as if Yoko Shimomura really knows how to capture the emotion in terms of the actual moment and what's going on in that cutscene. And, seeing Sora stab himself in the heart with having that track playing, it's like, damn, they know how to capture the emotions so perfectly. And it's crazy because, even from the get-go, from Kingdom Hearts 1, the music and how it captured emotions and stuff was already spot on. It's not like a learning curve or anything that Yoko Shimomura has learned over the years. It's as if, from the start of Kingdom Hearts, she knew what was going on and how to do it right from the very start. And I think that's a really impressive thing, honestly. So yeah, like you were saying, the music is a huge aspect of Kingdom Hearts, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, definitely. Now, speaking of moments, okay, I want to talk about our best moments in the entire series. Now, there's one moment that I think it stands out amongst everything that happens in all the games for me personally. It comes from Kingdom Hearts 2. I know maybe Skyward Wing, if he listens to this at some point, he's probably going to get a kick out of this. If you remember that moment, I think it's before or after the battle with the Thousand Heartless. I could be wrong. I think it might be right before, where when you see Goofy get hit in the head and such. Yeah. This was the one moment. I know it's stupid, and I know that it's kind of kitty, and we all knew that Goofy's not gonna die in here. This is a Disney game. Come on now.
Yeah, for sure.
But there was that moment where the entire tone and the entire feeling of what was happening on screen and the gameplay changed and became something not only a little bit more darker and more serious, but a little bit more mature. And it's after you see Goofy get hit in the head in Kingdom Hearts 2, where he gets knocked out, Mickey gets real serious. He's like, oh, now it's time. Now we're about to go fight. But what really did it for me was that not only are you not paired up with Donald, or Mickey for that matter, in that moment, you start fighting alongside the Final Fantasy characters, and you go through little sections throughout that entire area of Hollow Bastion fighting the Heartless, and everybody's busting out all their attacks and stuff is going down. And I thought that for that couple minutes that everything was going down and happening, that made Kingdom Hearts step into a new type of territory. This made me feel I feel something really bad just happened, and I want to see not only the Heartless go down, but I also want to kind of get a little bit of revenge, a little bit of justice for Goofy right there. Did you have any moments like that, or any other good moments from the entire Kingdom Hearts series? It doesn't have to be Kingdom Hearts 2, that you thought this was the moment of the series right here?
Well, that scene in particular, when Goofy gets hit by the rock and stuff. I mean, for me, that was a pretty emotional moment. I'm kind of ooh, not my boy who's been with me on my dude. Side. That's my dude right there. You don't fuck with my dude, man. But that scene in particular, I would say is one that sticks out to me definitely because of the fact that obviously in Kingdom Hearts 1. Donald and Goofy are there by your side and stuff, and Donald and Goofy, they definitely do become really good friends of Sora, and I suppose you can say that you start caring for the characters after a while, just seeing this sort of friendship and bond that Sora has between those two characters, Donald and Goofy. That scene right there definitely stuck out for me. One scene that I think I'll never ever get out of my head is most certainly the whole entire Roxas prologue, and
really?
This is probably it's probably a really weird scene to be okay, why did that stick out to you? Because obviously back when we first played Kingdom Hearts 2, we had no idea who Roxas was. But I think it was just the aspect of this whole mysterious character who we had no idea who exactly this guy was. And the fact that he the whole dual wielding the Keyblades. I remember Kingdom Hearts 1, this is something that I always wanted. And then playing Kingdom Hearts 2 as a kid, finally getting that and then seeing two Keyblades, I was holy, I don't know who this man is. He knows how to wield two Keyblades. The Axel fight during that section as well, it was amazing.
Do you remember the commercials for that at that time? Because I remember during here in the United States anyway, they had commercials for Kingdom Hearts 2 where it showed some of the CG cutscenes or gameplay of that particular scene. And when we saw the dual Keyblades, we're oh, now this is cool.
Where he kind of pulls them out of his pockets,
exactly.
Sort of thing. That scene there, yeah, like I don't remember any TV commercials because like here in New Zealand we don't really see too many video game commercials, but I've definitely seen like a bunch of trailers with that scene in particular. But yeah, I'd have to say like the whole Roxas prologue honestly sticks out to me the most because with Kingdom Hearts 2 being my favorite game, and like with me playing it as a kid, I suppose like I went through that section quite a lot, and that's sort of like the first initial like entryway into Kingdom Hearts 2, and most certainly the Twilight Thorn fight, that was absolutely like incredible. With all the reaction commands, that was a really, really good way to like introduce the reaction command system in KH2. So honestly, I'd have to say the Roxas section. I really enjoyed it.
Now, I want to dive a little bit more into that Roxas section, or I almost mispronounced it. Roxas section is a tongue twister. The reason why I want to dive into it is because I feel that section, or out of the entire series, like arguably you could say 358 over 2 days, but I think that particular section in the beginning, the prologue of Kingdom Hearts 2, is the most divisive for a lot of people, because I remember being, when that game first came out on PS2, that a lot of people weren't happy about that prologue, and I think even now, there's a lot of people that say like, oh, it's kind of out of place, it's here and there, and even me to an extent, I've always felt like maybe that was kind of out of left field. Granted, we got a little bit more elaboration and context to what was going on in the greater scheme of things, for other games like 358 over 2 days, and then we also had other stuff here and there and various different spin-offs and such. But at the time when that game first came out, granted that stood out to you at the time, did you still feel like maybe that was a little bit out of place, or maybe that Roxas, because when we first got that game, we all wanted to play as Sora. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody wanted to be like, where's Sora? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, who is this guy? And such. Did you ever feel like that at the time, and maybe it grew on you over time?
Like I'll admit, like the Kingdom Hearts 2 prologue definitely has problems. Within saying that it's my favorite, one of my favorite memories of Kingdom Hearts, it without a doubt definitely has problems. And like you're saying, most of us were expecting to play as Sora, but then we boot up KH2 like during our first time. And boom, there's like some random dude with blonde hair, and like, what the actual hell is going on? And so, yeah, I suppose that you could say that for people's first experiences, KH2's prologue does feel a bit disjointed because of the fact that there's really no explanation towards who this character is, why he's here, and sort of what his importance is. And obviously, over the span of the series itself, all that gets explained. And it's interesting because it seems to be that like Tetsuya Nomura likes to do things backwards in a sense. Like, obviously the KH2 prologue ended up getting explained at the end of 358.
Yeah.
But
it's got that Pulp Fiction type of storytelling. Like, for
does,
better or worse, like anybody that's seen Pulp Fiction knows that like it's very non-linear. Like here and there, like it's all over the place, but like there's still stories and events that connect to each other into one big narrative and stuff. And I get a similar type of idea with that, as far as like the whole KH series.
Yeah, and see, like, that's what's interesting, because I think that's like one of the big aspects as to why I like the story of Kingdom Hearts, because it's a really different way of storytelling, doing it backwards. And granted that it is very convoluted and can be extremely confusing from time to time, especially with like everything that's like with Dream Drop Distance, and then after Dream Drop Distance adding all that like Unchained Key and Key stuff, it's made the series even more convoluted. But as much as I hate it, I love it, because I love trying to figure out like all these theories, exactly how everything will come together, how like this connects to that. And I just, like in terms of the storytelling, going back to like the prologue with the mysterious character being that of Roxas, and then, like a few years later connecting the pieces together, I really like that method of storytelling. I think that's something very unique to Tetsuya Nomura.
Now, do you think like a lot of the convoluted storytelling has to do with not only the need also to kind of like extend things a little bit before getting an official next canon game in the series? And what I mean by that is this, like after Kingdom Hearts 1, we didn't get Kingdom Hearts 2 immediately. We got Chain of Memories. And after Kingdom Hearts 2, we still haven't gotten Kingdom Hearts 3 up to this point, that we had all these other games that have come out. Now, granted, Kingdom Hearts like Dream Drop Distance or 3D for some people here and there expands upon the story. We have other games too. We got Recoded. We got 358 over 2 days. We got a prequel, Birth by Sleep. There's all these different things that expand upon the narrative and kind of like lead up to whatever's going to happen next. But do you think that that's the main reason why the entire story or the big narrative is so convoluted and confusing is because like there's all these gaps in time and like stretching out of like the main events of the story?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think you just nailed that perfectly. Yeah, there's a lot of in-between titles, and like I like to use the word sort of bridge titles that sort of connect the games. So obviously, for instance, KH1, and then after KH1 is Chain of Memories. So Chain of Memories kind of acts as the bridge between KH1 to KH2, and then obviously you've got like with KH2 you have Dream Drop Distance. So that sort of acts as the bridge to Kingdom Hearts 3, and then you've got all these other things in between. But I think what's cool about it is like Tetsuya Nomura, he's trying to set up this massive story, and in order to explain everything that accumulates in Kingdom Hearts 3, he probably feels as if like he has to make all these other like side titles to make this story like worth telling. And I think that's what's so exciting. We've had multiple Kingdom Hearts titles. Key, Unchained Key, 1, 2, Chain of Memories, Recoded, Coded, Dream Drop Distance, etc. And all of these games are acting as the setup for that of 3. And I think, I know the wait for Kingdom Hearts 3 is absolutely just dreadful and painful because,
it's been a long time.
Waiting.
It's been like 10 years right now.
Exactly. It's been a long time. But I feel as if the wait is going to be so worth it just due to the crazy setup that Kingdom Hearts 3 has. I mean, I don't really think there's ever been a setup to a video game like that I can think of that Kingdom Hearts sort of has at the moment. In a way, I kind of look at it as like this is the Deathly Hallows of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
like the
that's
final,
a good comparison.
Sort of the final set of the Xehanort saga. Obviously, it's not like Kingdom Hearts is over, but that's kind of how I look at it. Yeah.
True. Good point. Now, spinning off of that, before we go to the next topic, I think it kind of works against it a little bit. Like, there are some games that in the series, and again, I think me and you have both played every single game that's come out right now to date, including Unchained Key. I mean, because again, granted it's mobile devices and stuff, but that's still part of the canon of what's going on. Right. There are certain games like, to me, Recoded, I felt like was a game like if we never got and it never happened and stuff, it would make things...
It wouldn't matter.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter, exactly. Like there are little moments like that. Now, some people probably going to listen to this, might say like 358 over 2 days here or there because they just don't like it and stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
All joking aside and stuff, there are moments here and there in the series where I feel like certain games just kind of add a little bit too much or just kind of like inject a little bit too much that gets away from the grander scheme of things. It just elongates everything. But that's neither here or there. Now, I want to talk about this idea about Kingdom Hearts being one of the better mashup series of all gaming. The reason why I say that is because mashups in gaming, like collaborations between 2 big companies, 3 big companies. This one being Square Enix and Disney being a huge conglomerate collaboration in the industry. I remember when everybody saw that Kingdom Hearts 1 was coming out on PS2, and everybody dismissed it as a Disney game at the time. That was like rampant. Everybody thought it was going to be kiddie and stuff, and it totally took everybody by surprise at the time. Do you think that, is there maybe a better collaboration other than Kingdom Hearts? I mean, granted, that might sound like a little bit of a bias answer there, but like to me, in my opinion, I think this is probably one of the best collaborations for a video game ever between 2 or more companies like that. Because again, there's just like iconic characters coming from various different avenues. You got Disney, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, and stuff. You got Square Enix with Final Fantasy characters, primarily Final Fantasy characters. Granted, we got other series here and there, and like Dream Drop Distance later on, but really that's where the core of it started.
Yeah, like when you ask that question, it's kind of hard to think of like another game where it has a collaboration on the scale of Kingdom Hearts.
I can only think of one, and that's Project Cross Zone, because that's 3 companies. That's like Namco, Capcom, and Sega. But like as far as like one that had significant impact though.
Yeah, like the only other one I can think of is like Smash, but then again, like to a certain degree, like Smash is like a lot of the property is owned by Nintendo anyway. But
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, like, looking towards Kingdom Hearts and being a game that's made out of collaborations entirely bring, the universe of, like, Final Fantasy and Disney together to make its own unique story. I think what is what sort of makes it like how impressive it kind of is. And I think like I can only imagine the conversations and sort of the thought process of the people over at Squaresoft back when it was Squaresoft. During this sort of planning phase of Kingdom Hearts 1, kind of presenting the idea to the boardroom saying like, yo, okay, so we want to team up with Disney and we want to bring Final Fantasy elements into Disney. And I can just picture the people's faces on that day, like thinking, "This will never work. This is a bad idea."
Dude, the stories that come out of there, man. Like some of the stories in the urban legends, they're kind of proven true. But like the stories that you hear from like Nomura and a few of the other people that were heads at Square Enix and Disney at the time, where like they were arguing who they wanted to be the main protagonist. Like I think originally it was supposed to be Donald at one point, and Nomura was the one that was like, "Hey, listen, no, they ain't gonna work. We're gonna go create a brand new character to appease everybody." And I thought that was for the benefit. God they did. Yeah, right.
Oh, dude, thank God they did. Because I feel as if, if someone like Donald Duck or Mickey was the main protagonist of Kingdom Hearts, then it would kind of seem like, okay, this is like 80% Disney, and like the rest is different Final Fantasy elements. Whereas with having Sora as the main protagonist, completely new and original character, it kind of makes Kingdom Hearts stand on its own, not because of Disney, not because of Final Fantasy, but because of what both of these sort of, what both of these brands have made the game into.
Definitely. Again, like I was saying, there's just so many crazy stories that you hear about. Again, the development of First Kingdom Hearts, and even leading into some of the other games here and there. Like stories like Birth by Sleep was originally going to be a PS2 game. Like that was going to be the next game that we got in the series, and eventually that ended up coming out on the PSP and stuff. Now, one of the things I want to kind of get like a good hodgepodge of answers and just good food for thought for people that may be new to the Kingdom Hearts series, like a good entry point into Kingdom Hearts. Now, the easy answer is to come out and say, like, go play Kingdom Hearts 1.5, play the first game, and just get that story from beginning to end. But I would argue there are other games in the series that'll be a great entry point for anybody else. Like, I would love to see, like, people have their first game be Birth by Sleep, because I think that besides it being the first in the timeline as far as, like, a series of events, besides Unchained Key and stuff, but, like, as far as, like, a good spot where you get like some of the better aspects of the series, gameplay wise, story wise. You start seeing like, again, most of the elements that work together between all the games and both properties, both Square Enix and Disney.
Yeah, like honestly, I would probably either recommend KH1 or Birth by Sleep, because being that like Birth by Sleep is the prequel to that of KH1, it would really make sense to start with either. And I think like with starting with Kingdom Hearts 1, you've got the definitive Kingdom Hearts gameplay formula right there, right? So you got the gameplay that exists in KH2 and will eventually exist in KH3. Definitely. Of course, KH3 is mixed up a bit, but like for the most part, it's still the same formula. Whereas if you play Birth by Sleep, then you're experiencing a different type of Kingdom Hearts gameplay, similar to that of Dream Drop Distance, with having the command menu and different command abilities and whatnot. So honestly, I think either would be like a really good way to start. I think that with Birth by Sleep, the story aspects of Birth by Sleep, everything that happens towards the end, I think it's one of the more darker Kingdom Hearts games, and might actually, like, for someone to start with Birth by Sleep, I think would present it to them to kind of say, like, hey, this game isn't what you think it is. It's not just Disney, yay, fun.
There's something more.
There's something more, there's some crazy events in here, some dark events. So, yeah, I think Birth by Sleep would be a pretty good starting point, honestly, for both story and gameplay aspects, yeah.
Definitely. Now, here's the flip side of that. What's the worst Kingdom Hearts game? Now, again, this is a very subjective thing, because a lot of people have a variety of different answers about this. For me, it's got to come down to one of two titles. It's either got to be the original Chain of Memories, or just Chain of Memories like that, or... Yeah. Okay, or it has to come down to Recoded. And the reason why I say that is because Chain of Memories is so removed from the formula that makes Kingdom Hearts that series, gameplay-wise specifically. I think it was a terrible decision to go with the card battle format. As far as, like, again, it's like it plays between the idea of being a real-time action RPG game and then being a card battle game, which just did not work for me back even when it was back on Game Boy Advance. But Recoded, I feel like, is so insignificant to what goes on down in the grand scheme of the entire series. Again, it's like, again, they're digitizing Jiminy's Journal. For anybody that's never played Recoded and stuff, it's really about Jiminy's Journal and some of the events that happen after Kingdom Hearts 2 or after Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories and stuff like that. But what do you think is the worst game in this series?
So, originally it was Chain of Memories or Re-Chain of Memories.
Mm-hmm.
And I made that decision up like probably about 2 years ago. I think I did a video talking about like the worst Kingdom Hearts games in my opinion.
What was the definitive aspect about it that you chose it?
Well, like you mentioned, yeah, the formula is so separated to that of what the formula of Kingdom Hearts is. It's not like they've ever gone back and made another Kingdom Hearts game where it's got the same mechanics as Chain of Memories. So, like you said, yeah, it's very, very separated to that of the normal formula of Kingdom Hearts. However, though, I started to get into Chain of Memories, and although it is like definitely down on my list, it isn't my most hated Kingdom Hearts game
Really?
in terms of playing it. Yeah. Now I know some people might shoot me for this, but
Get ready.
I would have to say 358 over 2 days.
Really? And why? Why 358 over
so
2 days?
The story in 358 over 2 days is amazing. I loved learning about Roxas and more so the Organization 13, some of the personalities. It's super sad. It's definitely one of the sadder installments, similar to that of like Birth by Sleep, right? So I loved the story. The story was absolutely great, and I think the cinematics that are included in 1.5, great. It's a great way to present the story. However, the gameplay of 358, I just cannot bear. I hate those recon missions.
Oh yeah,
some of the bosses in that game, like the
Alright, sorry about that, guys. Unfortunately, Skype is a piece of garbage, and it kind of disconnected us, unfortunately, right in the middle of Jared's point, but we're just going to continue right from there. So anyway, Jared, you were saying.
Yeah, so like I was saying, like 358 over 2 days would probably have to be my most disliked Kingdom Hearts game, because like I was saying, story is like on point. The story is absolutely amazing. But yeah, the whole gameplay formula, I would say, of 358 with the bosses, the whole mission aspect and whatnot, the recon missions especially. And I know it's kind of strange to say because like you'd probably expect me to say Recoded. Now, I actually really enjoyed Recoded in terms of the story. So like, okay, let me lay this out. So 358 over 2 days and Recoded, right, being the DS titles for the Kingdom Hearts series. Now, they're kind of like back to front with each other. 358 over 2 days, I would say, didn't really have the greatest gameplay, and that's my biggest point towards it being my most disliked.
Co-op at one point.
It did, yeah, that was cool. The mission mode with like the friend thing, I think that was really cool. But like, yeah, the story was great. Gameplay wasn't for 358, in my opinion. Recoded, gameplay was great. Story wasn't. So for me, it's kind of like with those two games, they're kind of back to front with their like story and gameplay aspects. I actually really enjoyed Recoded. Funnily enough, I found like the gameplay in Recoded was very fast paced and reminded me a lot of the way that Birth by Sleep worked. So like, I kind of look at it as like sort of like a Birth by Sleep for the DS, and like the way the leveling works, like with the stat matrix, being able to actually like build up, like if you want more so strength on Sora or defense or fire or ice resistance, it gave you that freedom and that customization. So like I really liked that aspect of like Recoded, how it was so fast paced. In terms of 358, gameplay wasn't really my thing, so it's probably my most disliked Kingdom Hearts title, yeah.
I could understand that. Like, for me, the reason why I say Recoded besides Chain of Memories and stuff, I think Chain of Memories is really the one I would go with as far as, like, being the worst out of the series. The reason why I would say Recoded is because I just feel like, again, if you remove that game, like, nothing would happen. Like, there'd be no significant changes, or you wouldn't be really missing anything whatsoever, in the grand scheme of Kingdom Hearts games. So if you really had a game that you could choose to skip over outside of Chain of Memories, I would say Recoded.
I would agree with you on that, because I think like in terms of like the explanation of Jiminy's journal and like how it's like projecting the whole digital database and all that, and like we see in 2.5 the conversation between like Pete and Maleficent, I feel like that could have been easily explained in like a 5-minute cutscene added to Kingdom Hearts 2 somewhere. Yeah, for sure.
Pretty much. So now let's talk about community stuff. The Kingdom Hearts community, the reception of Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that. Because I think it's an important aspect of the series, or at least understanding, everybody's infatuation with Kingdom Hearts, here and there. And especially why everybody's so excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. Again, I don't think Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out anytime in 2017. I think that Nomura was pretty clear about that recently in a news post. I think we're getting it 2018, maybe 2019. 2019 run there. But let's talk about the community and stuff. Now, for me, I think that Kingdom Hearts is probably one of the better RPG communities out there as far as, not the humbleness, but like the welcoming nature here and there
Hmm.
about
Yeah.
about getting into the game. Someone that's brand new getting into the actual series and stuff, or like maybe if it's something you don't know about it, actually going to somebody here and there, posting on a forum, whatever. I think that's probably one of the better aspects of it. One of the worst aspects for me, I think, is a little bit of the entitlement factor, and you find that in all gaming communities here and there.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
nothing
Yeah.
exclusive to the Kingdom Hearts community. But there, if we're just focusing on them specifically, I think it's more because we've waited for so long for like the next game or for something big to happen over the last, like, I want to say almost 10 years now at this point for Kingdom Hearts 3. It's a long time. Anybody would get
Yeah, yeah.
impatient and stuff. But like to me, that's probably one of the worst aspects of it is probably the entitlement factor and also just the overly loud nature in as far as expressing, maybe displeasement and stuff. Again, waiting for such a game and stuff. But for you, what are the best and worst aspects of Kingdom Hearts community?
Yeah, so I'll start off with the worst one. I'll agree with you when you mention like the whole, people are not afraid to be loud in terms of expressing themselves when they don't exactly receive information or a trailer up to their expectations. And certainly from me, like, because I really didn't know Kingdom Hearts had a big community here on the internet until I started actually doing Kingdom Hearts YouTubing and like seeing, the KH13 forums and KH Insider
When you
forums and
guys
seeing
formed the
like,
Key Keepers, that was another thing. I remember
yeah,
I wrote
yeah.
about you guys a while back.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And like just seeing like Kingdom Hearts YouTubers and stuff, I'm like, damn, I didn't know that Kingdom Hearts even had a following like this. Um, but yeah, like because I've been doing Kingdom Hearts YouTubing since 2014, I've definitely noticed like when these different events and stuff happen and new information is shown, and when it's not really necessarily up to people's standards, I've seen people absolutely rip shit and bust. And I'd say that's honestly probably one of the worst sides of like kind of the community that we have with Kingdom Hearts. I feel like if you're going to be someone who invests their time into the Kingdom Hearts community, you need to have patience because if you're an impatient person and you're invested in Kingdom Hearts, it's really not going to work out for you because obviously we wait years upon years for like the next big Kingdom Hearts title to come out. I mean, we like for the past few years now, we've been receiving remasters and nothing like really anything sort of too significant. So like yeah, people aren't afraid to kind of like express themselves and complain about like how long they've been waiting and stuff. And like I'll admit it gets annoying. It certainly gets annoying, but like it doesn't push me to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go onto Twitter, I'm gonna be tagging Square Enix.
You're gonna be
I'm gonna
ranting.
be like, hook up that game right now, dude. Release that shit. I'm gonna like release the hounds on you. I'll fly over to Japan.
Release
and
the
purposely
Kraken.
exactly, man. So like, yeah, I think that's probably one of the worst sides of the community. We can be kind of toxic when we're sort of, like when we don't get what we want, I suppose. I've definitely seen that throughout the years.
True.
The more positive side of the community, I think it's one of the most down to earth, nicest communities I have ever been sort of involved in. Prior to doing like Kingdom Hearts stuff here on YouTube, I used to do stuff like Minecraft, COD, Halo, and whatnot, and like even playing online, like playing COD online or Halo online or even WoW and stuff, just being involved in those communities, they can be absolutely just totally toxic. Just like the people
Overwatch
on it.
is another one recently. Overwatch has been getting a lot of flack.
I play a decent amount of Overwatch, and even like you said, like I've noticed that on Overwatch as well, for sure. Especially getting into like competitive games and stuff, and then not playing the hero that they want you to play. Like yeah, so I mean yeah, I think Kingdom Hearts has one of the most down to earth, nicest communities, and like Kingdom Hearts isn't. I wouldn't say it's a mainstream title similar to that of like Minecraft or Call of Duty. It's certainly not like one of the faces of gaming. So I feel like with the kind of small but sort of large community we have, it's filled with a decent amount of like really genuine people. And like through Kingdom Hearts and doing all this Kingdom Hearts stuff in the community, I've met some amazing people, like some lifelong friends through it, and I couldn't be more grateful. So I think the great side of the Kingdom Hearts community is that like most of the people, most of the people,
Most of the people. Emphasis on most of the people.
Yeah, emphasis on that. Like a good percentage of the people are like really genuine and down to earth.
Yeah, I think that's a cool point to make, and I think it's very true because, granted, there's very multiple facets to any gaming community out there, and I think that's a good thing. That's a phenomenal thing because not only shows that gaming has come forward as a medium, as an entertainment medium for a lot of people and stuff, but it also shows that it's very complex. For Kingdom Hearts,
Exactly.
again, you guys, you. HMK, Skyward Wing, Sir1, and a bunch of the other Kingdom Hearts YouTubers and content creators that are out there. There's a variety of different avenues and places you guys could come from when it comes to discussing the same series or even the same games. Again, you got your theories, you got your instructional videos. You and I think also Sir1 did a bunch of videos that were tutorials on how to get like the ultimate Keyblade, how to do this and that, how to level up fast and stuff. And those are very helpful for not only people that are just coming into the series, but also people that just love the series and they love seeing that type of content. I think that is probably one of the better aspects of the community in of itself. One of the other cool things I think that's very good too is whenever you have streams. I think not only when you stream like Let's Plays of like different Kingdom Hearts games or any of the other guys do the same thing, but also when there's streams for like, trailers or just like someone like Nomura or someone like Okayama coming out on stream and just having a conversation about the games and stuff. Like it's always a fun community to be a part of, to be in that chat discussing the games.
Yeah, for sure. Like I remember E3 of 2015, I ended up doing a live stream. And, like for the most part, most of us were expecting something new for Kingdom Hearts 3 to be presented, right? So we ended up seeing the trailer and stuff. And like as I was seeing the trailer, watching the trailer, I was looking at my chat because I was actually live streaming the Square Enix presentation and just seeing the chat, like just everyone coming together, just like spamming like all this stuff, like thank God we've got something new, and like holy damn, this game is looking amazing, like
That's
thank
exciting.
you Square, thank you. It's like, like times like that are absolutely amazing, just like bringing the community together. And I think like once again, going back to the positives of the community, I think when we do get like some really cool shit to do with Kingdom Hearts, especially 3, I love it when the community comes together, man, like coming up with like the analysis on like things,
The collaborations.
ideas, the collaborations, like all the theories and stuff. It's really great.
That's very cool. Now, to kind of shift gears a little bit, obviously we have to talk about the reception of Kingdom Hearts, obviously in the media, like obviously the games media, both traditional and new media and stuff. And obviously for Kingdom Hearts specifically, I've seen that it's a little bit unique, not entirely, but a little bit unique to us, how the game and the series is kind of like perceived in various different outlets and stuff. Obviously the big one being IGN. There's been a variety of different opinions here and there. Recently Polygon, they did like some sort of parody video and stuff. And there's been a lot of divisive opinions here and there about this specifically. A lot of people and a lot of the general consensus for some people is that they don't really like the coverage that IGN provides on the series of Kingdom Hearts. Now, full disclosure, so I can just get it out the way. Obviously, I've been trying to work for IGN for the longest time. I freelance for them. That's just, basic stuff. But I also recognize that, again, there's two sides and multiple facets to every story and multiple facets to every issue and such. One of the biggest issues, and I remember you did a video about this. You've done multiple videos about IGN and Kingdom Hearts and stuff. And you were obviously displeased about them because you don't like how, some people have certain opinions about certain things. Some people, again, the way that they're not really experts in the series like that, and you just don't think like it has come out too great and stuff. What do you feel is probably the biggest issue with, whether it's IGN or another bigger website and stuff, with Kingdom Hearts being reported on or being covered by major media outlets?
Like I'm definitely, but like what really gets me, like my biggest gripe, especially when it comes to mainly because I think for the most part, like apart from like all those article websites that just absolute trash and all they want is the ad revenue and stuff. Like the complete just clickbait stuff. In terms of like the outlets, I feel as if they're reporting on Kingdom Hearts series is really fantastic. Like I think GameSpot did this sort of like break of like sort of like the
I remember that
on the whole entire Kingdom Hearts series for Kingdom Hearts 3, and like I was reading over and I was like, damn dude, like this they did a really seen multiple other sort of write-ups over the years. Like when it specifically comes to IGN, I think like they've had this running record of like just bad on Kingdom Hearts like as a whole, and it's not so much me having a major issue with that, because believe me, when I was first getting into YouTube a few years back, damn, dude, like I used to hit up IGN at the time, and I even still do have a stick for them, but because of the fact that kind of seen as like the big boys when it comes to the gaming reporting for the YouTube platform, I think they should have a certain amount of professional following behind the reputation that they have. And it's not Kingdom Hearts. Sometimes like different things will slip video game series, but I get mistakes, right? But when you're making certain mistakes towards the franchise time and time again, and like comment sections, they're giving you feedback, they're giving you criticism, and it's kind of like at this point, what are you doing? And I think, like, honestly, I was really pleased to see that Marty Silva, I believe that's his name.
Marty Sleva, yeah. Marty, if you guys don't know who Marty Sleva is, he's one of the senior editors over at IGN for PlayStation content. He did the Rewind, did the remixed, not remixed, but like the re-released Rewind theater, of the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer back at E3 last year, I believe, or the year before.
Yeah. And like, see, that was really good. Like, I watched the re-upload of that, and I thought he covered it pretty well. And I was actually pleased to see that IGN had like in the sort of criticism feedback. They took that video and then they uploaded, re-uploaded the video and got someone who was, knowledgeable on the franchise itself to actually kind of cover it. And like, see, my biggest gripe is like it almost seems as if they're getting people who aren't particularly too knowledgeable on the franchise itself when they do have this big reputation and multiple people working for them.
Now, to play a little bit of devil's advocate, and I know this is going to sound weird after the full disclosure earlier before.
Yeah.
I can already feel the disturbance in the force in the comment section right now with this. But to play a little bit of devil's advocate, do you feel like there's a little bit of bandwagoning sometimes with this? And the reason why I say this, and I've done videos on this in the past where I talked about it where, like, yes, it's totally cheap and snapped out of different websites where things like with that too was the theater that Mark did. Because, there was like, I think it was like 2 interns or something. One of them said, and like, about this, they didn't know anything.
Yeah.
It was really laughable and it was kind of amateur at the time.
Yeah.
And again, from what you read and what you hear from various people, there was a lot of different reasons why that happened. But I also feel like not only just this community, the Kingdom Hearts community, but also in other gaming communities when in relation to not just IGN, but other bigger websites, there's a little bit of bandwagoning that goes along with it. And it has to do with a lot of individuals or people on social media, whether anonymous or not, like taking a little bit of pop shots at the larger media. And it has to do with them, but also, again, maybe getting a rise out of them, or just for the simple fact of wanting to be different to appeal to a certain audience. I feel like sometimes now, especially this day, we're around 2017 now, that's a little bit more rampant in various different avenues. And I've seen it. And because, again, even going to like events and stuff, to cover games, I even had the opportunity a while back at PAX East. When I saw you at PAX East, I used to talk to the director of Unchained Key and stuff. And I saw a little bit of stuff here and there in relation to that where I saw people, again, doing or saying different things at the time and stuff. Again, it's a whole nother hodgepodge of stuff. Point is like, do you think that sometimes maybe, besides the actual stuff that should be called out or should be re-reviewed and should be talked about, do you think like maybe there's a little bit of too much bandwagoning it because it's the internet when it comes to this type of different stuff?
Yeah, like for sure. Like I'll definitely agree with that. I feel as if GM made that first slip up with Kingdom Hearts with the rewind thing. I feel like ever since then, like people have been like, okay, IGN from here on in, any stuff they do, flame them. For like it sound for me, but it's real. It was I think September of last year. IGN did a video and it was called like Kingdom 2.8 left us a bit disappointed or something, and it was from PAX West where like 2.8 was playable. So I remember the day that getting uploaded, and I actually did a video talking about it. However, though, I wasn't flaming IGN in that video. Rather, I was saying I don't know why this is a big deal, because I was literally getting like spammed on Twitter like, yo, Cynical, like IGN have uploaded another video and once again they're talking about Kingdom Hearts and they're saying it's not that great. Too. But like in the video that I did about it, I clearly made the point, like I don't hate IGN. I actually do like some of their stuff, and I used to watch them back in the day. And in terms of this video itself, it's simply just one man's opinion. And when they're getting flamed for the opinion itself, I feel like it's not exactly too fair. And I think, at that point, it kind of does seem a bit like bandwagoning to a certain extent, for sure. Because, in the video, like, talking about, like, that video they made at PAX West, I made the point, like, honestly, I don't really care too much for this. Like, I don't see anything wrong they did. All they did was simply just explain what they thought about 2.8. You know, they had a few good things to say about it, and not everyone's gonna like the game, even when it comes to the media, you know?
True.
Everyone likes different stuff. So, I mean, yeah, I feel as if the bandwagoning, that there has been a bit of it, for sure. And this sort of situation, especially, is like 100% bandwagon, without a doubt.
I think, yeah, I think it's just, again, not exclusive to the Kingdom Hearts games or the series. I think it happens in almost every series. Rudy gets, a positive review from them or any other website, immediately they're paid off. Like, that's just like that's the meme for wrap that one up before we go to the final point. Do you think like there'll ever be a day where like, the general consensus is that, that a lot of people really enjoy some of the reporting about Kingdom Hearts on places like IGN or places like GameStop, the bigger media outlets and stuff? Because right now, whether it's bandwagoning or not, for me, the general feeling and emotion I get from a lot of people on social media is that they don't like going to the bigger websites for their news or for their actual content about Kingdom Hearts. Like they're very antagonistic about it and stuff. Do you think that'll change down the line? At least I hope so. Hopefully being someone that wants to be part of games media, I hope.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I would say, like when I look at, because what I was saying before with GameSpot, I feel like their reporting on Kingdom Hearts is honestly pretty on point, and I see a lot of people actually referring to GameSpot for quite a lot of stuff, even Kotaku as well. But then, like looking towards IGN, I feel as if because they've got this running reputation of like sort of, in a sense, not entirely, but in a sense, kind of bad Kingdom Hearts reporting, I would say that it's definitely left a scar, but I do feel as if there is room for like improvement and sort of to position themselves out of that hotspot that they have been in for quite a few years now. I mean, maybe when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes around, who knows? Maybe they'll start doing some really good stuff. And I do have faith because I've seen some great stuff from IGN in the past. Some really, really interesting, great reporting as well. Like most of the reviews I used to watch in the past, all IGN, and I found them extremely informal and all that. So, perhaps maybe like as this year progresses with Kingdom Hearts 3 news coming out, with them just simply like reporting it, giving their kind of opinion and whatnot, maybe. And I honestly do hope so, because like you were saying, like the whole bandwagoning thing can be sort of annoying to a certain degree, especially when I personally get bothered about it whenever IGN speak of Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, I honestly hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I say it more because, again, full disclosure, I hope one day I work for them. And hopefully one day, if I ever get to do something like that, hopefully, whether it's me or somebody else, where everybody that's into that series will look at it in a much better light whenever they do something about it. So that way, again, whether they gravitate towards one personality or another, they get something out of it and come out of it saying like, hey, I actually enjoy that. Or actually, something, I came out with some food for thought about what they did. Rather than just like a million videos or Twitter posts talking about like never report on Kingdom Hearts again, never do this again. Like every time it happens, it's always funny. It's terrible because I've seen some terrible stuff on social media here and there. But like, there's always that thing is like, something, hopefully one day, whether it's Kingdom Hearts 3 or even after that, things will be for the better.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly hope so, man. Like I hope that IGN can redeem themselves. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily such a hard thing to do either. I think with having Marty on board, and from what I've seen of Marty, honestly, like he seems to know what he's talking about. So I think that was a really good decision from IGN to kind of appoint him towards Kingdom Hearts in a sense. And like I'm looking forward to seeing like what they say about 2.8 in a couple of weeks. Hopefully it turns out all good for them. Like I don't know how the community is going to react whatsoever. Once again, unpredictable because, from what we've seen in the past when IGN do a Kingdom Hearts video, it hasn't essentially been too good, mainly from the community's response. So I'll be interested to see like how they kind of go about 2.8 and of course the future leading up to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Same. Yeah, again, I've read a lot of Marty's stuff. Again, watched a lot of his stuff. They also got a couple other people on there. I know in their most recent one, granted, that had a little controversy too. I know Jonathan Dornbush, he wrote up a whole thing about 2.8. It's some insightful stuff that's over there that everybody should check out at some point.
Yeah,
Nice. Now, the final thing I want to touch on in our conversation, in our definitive discussion about Kingdom Hearts, I want to talk about the future of the series. I want to talk about what we want to see. Like, obviously, we got 2.8 in a couple weeks. That's going to be a big deal. That's going to lead into Kingdom Hearts 3. Whenever we finally get that at some point, what do we want to see from the future of Kingdom Hearts? Like, obviously, I want to see more different types of Disney properties and even Final Fantasy properties being mixed up together, you know, in collaboration, working together in different games and stuff. Obviously, the purchase of Star Wars and Marvel for Disney is a huge factor. I think it's something definitely talked about. I know a lot of people said for, like, Kingdom Hearts 3, they don't want to see stuff like that because it's still primarily classic Disney and Square Enix and stuff, and I can understand that argument, but I think there's going to be that change that comes at some point. Like, Star Wars will be implemented, I feel like, in Kingdom Hearts at some point because it's a multi-billion-dollar
for
IP.
sure, dude.
It's
a selling point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a selling point.
Exactly. Like, it's something that's going to happen. And I feel like the same thing's going to happen with Marvel at some point, but I don't think it's going to be in the sense where people believe it's like, oh, we're going to get, like, these crazy worlds and stuff. Like, I would find that Star Wars and the way that it would be implemented into Kingdom Hearts would be something very subtle and something very diffused. Like, being on a Star Destroyer, like Darth Vader's Star Destroyer, and Darth Vader somehow has some sort of thing with the Heartless or something crazy like that. Yeah. But not like, oh, you're going to Tatooine, or, oh, you're going to the Death Star, or some ridiculous like that. But, like, what do you want to see from the future of Kingdom Hearts?
You know, like, I'm honestly crossing my fingers that the reception for Kingdom Hearts 3 is a crazy good one. I'm hoping that it becomes the all-time best-selling Kingdom Hearts title out of the franchise. And I hope that if we do get a positive response from KH3, I'm hoping that, you know, Square Enix continue to, like, kind of move forward. I'd be interested to sort of see exactly what they're going to be doing after KH3 and, like, how far exactly they can kind of take this story. Because I feel as if, you know, Tetsuya Nomura, he's very unpredictable. Like, who knows what he's planning? I mean, like, for all we know, he's probably got a whole script for, like, what's actually going to happen or where Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to lead. But, like, in terms of, like, what I want to see, I just want to see, like, the franchise kind of move forward and sort of rise in popularity itself. I think it's an amazing franchise itself, with the gameplay, the story, the brands that are currently in it with Final Fantasy, Disney. Yeah, I just kind of want more people to experience it, more people to kind of know of it. You know, like you were saying, Star Wars, Marvel, never been really too keen on both of the properties being implemented into Kingdom Hearts, although, like I said, you know, like, they are massive selling points because those franchises are huge.
Ridiculously huge.
Yeah, ridiculously huge. But, you know, something subtle, like you were saying, like, I wouldn't even mind if, say, you know, there was some sort of Star Wars themed gummy ship route. I think that would be awesome. That would work so perfectly. Cool. Yeah, that would be really cool. And, like, even maybe having, like, Darth Vader as, like, a secret boss. So just little things like that I think would be really, really awesome. Obviously seeing, like, more of the newer Disney properties implemented into Kingdom Hearts. We know that with KH3 it's going to be having properties like Big Hero 6, Tangled, and, of course, those are more of the newer generation of not Kingdom Hearts, but Disney films. So, like, I just really want to see the sort of franchise move forward in the aspect of rising in popularity, I would say. And I'm very interested to see, like, where the story will go to after KH3.
True. Now, another thing I want to bring up is that I want to see new characters. Like, granted, we've spent a lot of time with Sora, Riku, Kairi, Donald, Goofy, Mickey in this regard. Like, I don't think we're ever going to get away from the Disney characters themselves, especially the more popular Disney characters, because they're so iconic and they again, huge selling points in of themselves alone. But as far as, like, the original characters and even some of the Final Fantasy characters, I want to be able to see new original characters that Tetsuya Nomura and crew can actually create and then interact with other Disney properties that we haven't seen before. Like, for example, there are classic Disney movies that we haven't even touched yet. Like, obviously, even though it was going to be in Birth by Sleep and then I guess got pulled at the last minute, the Jungle Book.
Jungle Book
being a big one. Or, again, a lot of people have said, like, the Black Cauldron or the Sword in the Stone and things like that, you know, alongside, like, other newer characters. Like, I'm pretty sure there's other Keyblade wielders that we could hear stories or see stories unfold about besides Sora, because even though the main series revolves around Sora and his friends, there's still like other worlds out there and other characters that are all over the place that we just haven't heard about yet at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I agree with that. Like, I would love to see some brand new original like Kingdom Hearts characters be implemented to the future of Kingdom Hearts. Like, I think it's like with everything that came with Kingdom Hearts Key, right? I mean, the lore and all that, absolutely confusing, but like that's what's to be expected.
Yeah.
But I absolutely just love the fact that with Key, we got all of these like brand new characters like Ephemera, Skull, the Cherokee, the Foretellers, Luxu, the Master of Masters, and it was just like we haven't had this many new characters being introduced to Kingdom Hearts since the franchise started, and I think that's one of the most exciting things about Key itself. One thing I'm always thinking about is like I feel as if we need some more brand new female characters in Kingdom Hearts.
Sure.
I feel as if we're kind of on the lack for kind of like the female sort of characters in Kingdom Hearts. So I'd like to see some more female characters, honestly. One thing I've also thought about, and I know some people will probably disagree with this, because, you know, I care about Sora. Sora is like, you know, the bee's knees, right?
He's
I
our
love
dude.
Sora. He's our dude, and like I honestly hope that the future of Kingdom Hearts kind of like continues with him. But I wouldn't even mind sort of like a spin-off series being still developed by Square Enix and the Kingdom Hearts team, where it kind of revolves around a completely different Keyblade wielder, whether it be female or male, whatever, to kind of tell a different story. Because like you were saying, surely there's hundreds upon thousands of different Keyblade wielders out there. And I know a decent amount of them ended up perishing during the Keyblade War, but surely there must be like, you know, a few more like scattered out there somewhere. So I think like a spin-off series with like a brand new character or something, not sort of to the point where like that character would take over the iconic position of Sora, but just for maybe like an installment, you know, something fresh, something new, similar to that of Birthplace Sleep. You know, when we were controlling Terra, Aqua, and Ventus, it was different because we were controlling these characters who we didn't really know too much about, other than the fact that, like, you know, Ventus looked a lot like Roxas. But yeah, I felt like the Birthplace Sleep experience was really cool because we were playing with like a different characters, you know, like different characters. So yeah.
Definitely, yeah, I could totally get behind that. Again, especially after Kingdom Hearts 3 and after this saga kind of, you know, concludes and stuff, because I feel like that's inevitable.
Yeah.
At some point, we're going to have to move away from Sora. Even if he's still around and maybe he plays a minor role and stuff, we're going to have to focus on a new character, a new protagonist, a new story, a new problem that needs to be solved,
Yeah,
a new saga,
sure.
whatever that might entail at some point. Now, kind of to conclude this stuff, again, Jared, thank you for chatting Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, no worries, man.
This time, I mean, again, we got really deep and we talked about a whole bunch of aspects revolving the series. At some point, we're going to have to do this again, maybe after Kingdom Hearts 3, eventually, whenever that comes out. At some
Let's
point,
make a date of it.
Yeah, right? Like, again, if that even happens anytime soon, like, because God knows when that's coming out. But where can everybody find you? You got YouTube, okay? You got Twitter. Where can they find you?
Yeah, so like TheGamersJoint on YouTube. I got TheGamersJoint on Twitter, as well as that. I also do live streaming over on Twitch. So once again, it's just TheGamersJoint. So on those three platforms, if you guys want to find me, just type in TheGamersJoint, no spaces between, and you should come across me.
Definitely. Again, there's going to be links to all that stuff in the description box below, guys. Again, if you're a fan of him, you already know where he's at. But for any of you guys that don't know, there's all the stuff and the resources there for you guys to check out all of his videos, your tutorials, your Let's Plays, your stuff, again, your social media, and everything else so that everybody could check you out, which is cool.
Yeah, I'm a nerd when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, guys. Essentially, that's it. Like,
so one might say he plays Kingdom Hearts a little bit too much.
Yeah, a little bit too much.
I don't know. You've been playing Final Fantasy 15, though. I saw you playing Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I like. It's actually the first ever Final Fantasy game I've ever finished, and I have to say it was one amazing experience. Even though the story's kind of like from time to time, incredible experience. I loved it.
Real quick, Final Fantasy 15 Noctis in Kingdom Hearts 3 or no?
Do it. Like through playing 15, man. Like I love Gladio, Prompto, Ignis, Noctis. Like I put them in the terms of like they're trying to reclaim the throne or get back to their home world or something. Like I can see Noctis working. So do it. Absolutely.
That'd be kind of fun. I wouldn't even mind a young Noctis. Like if it was in like a dream state, like the platinum demo, I'd be totally cool with that. But
that would be cool.
But either way, that's going to wrap up this edition of A Definitive Discussion, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, thank you, Jared, for coming and talking Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, no worries.
I've been wanting to do this for a while, again, on Kingdom Hearts specifically. So, again, guys, don't forget to check out any of the links that I have in the description box below. Make sure you leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the Gamers with Gains channel for all my videos like this, as well as other gameplay videos and other gaming-related topics. I will talk to you guys again real soon. I'll have a new episode of this up on the channel again when I'm able to do so. Peace out, and stay epic, everybody.